Another day, another dollar as I holler to the world. I love the way I'm living, love the Gucci, love the girls, love the parties and the clubs, love the models and hot tubs, love the German engineering set on deep dish dubs. Another tour around the world, entertaining the fans. I love walking through the airport, taking pictures, shaking hands. Every day for me's an oyster, crack it open, find a pearl. I love the way I live is what I holler to the world.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Marking Out with MVP.
I'm MVP. And he's Dwayne Swayze.
I'm Dwayne Swayze.
But do you know who this guy is?
Yeah.
This fucking guy. Can you tell we've been drinking already?
A little bit.
Just a little bit. So, all right, you guys know the drill. At this point, this is Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze. And the premise of this show is, if your friend, well, no, the other way. If your friend was a professional wrestler,
That's right.
and you could ask whatever questions you wanted to ask, what would you ask? So Dwayne Swayze comes up with a list of questions to ask me on every episode, and I answer them as candidly and as honestly as I can, based on my personal experiences. But however, because my partner in rhyme, Dwayne Swayze, is my friend, my friends are his friends, and as a result, he gets to mark out for other people.
Samoa Joe.
So this is the very first episode of Marking Out with a Guest, where Dwayne Swayze gets to ask other people questions. And it is my pleasure and my honor to bring to you my friend, one of my personal favorite professional wrestlers, and just an all-around cool-ass fucking dude, Samoa Joe.
Much appreciated. I've come here to enjoy myself, and I have the answers.
That's good, because Dwayne has the question.
Good.
question.
Yeah.
Just when you asked,
I have the answers, Swayze.
All right.
I changed the answers. Oh, no, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Just when they think they have the answers, I change the question.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Hot Rod, rest in peace. Okay.
So, man, I over-prepared, Joe.
I can tell. You got a book over there.
Normally, I'm only sitting here holding one card, but here, you guys can see, it's a whole deck. So I'm going to start with today. Well, first off, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. We're here in beautiful Dallas, Texas. Excellent question.
Excellent question.
We're here in Dallas, Texas, having a great time.
It's all in weekend.
All in weekend.
All in, man.
Fantastic little event. A lot of fans around. A lot of good festivities to be had.
In all honesty, behind this screen and behind that curtain is Globe Life Stadium. And we tried it as a backdrop, but with the lights and everything, it kind of didn't work. So now you just got to deal with our cool ass set. But, we brought this all the way to Arlington so that we can have a cool set, because Joe is our very first guest ever. We're going to get a few other guests in, and we'll sprinkle those in episodes to come. But Dwayne Swayze
Yes.
gets to ask Joe his mark-ass question.
Yes. So now, allow me to mark out.
And while you do that, I'm going to pop this bottle and pour some bourbon, because Joe and I have been drunk in many countries.
Many countries. Beautiful, lovely countries, beautiful cultures.
Wonderful cultures.
Wonderful cultures.
We've bourbon, whiskey, vodka. We've... What?
Sambal, Malort.
What's that shit we drank in Europe that time? The shit with the sugar cube and the
A little absinthe.
absinthe. Absinthe.
It's like green or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and it comes with a really weird scene. So
Yeah. and you're supposed to hallucinate it. I never hallucinated. I just got drunk. Did you ever hallucinate on that?
No,
shit?
I mean, we were pretty drunk, but I don't know about no hallucination.
Which time?
Yeah.
And thank you, brother. What we got here, P?
This is Devil's River agave bourbon. You guys who were early watchers of our show remember how much we put the agave bourbon over. And as usual, we always say, because Devil's River is Dave Bautista's whiskey company. He's an investor, but we always say, thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Cheers, Dave.
Uncle Dave.
All right. So while you're pouring up,
I don't know.
Joe, your signature "Joe's gonna kill you" chant became synonymous with your intimidating persona. So what's one match or moment when you fully realized how much that chant resonated just beyond your character?
That's interesting. I mean, TNA was pretty wild ride like early on because it's kind of where a lot of my fan base was kind of garnered. It's where I kind of made my splash, I guess, on the national scene.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, I think kind of going into the matches with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels at the time. When the chant started to pick up, and it really took a life of its own. I mean, it was never something I ever said in a promo. It was never anything that I had kind of preempted the crowd or prompted the crowd to say.
You never said it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've used it once in a promo, and that was like months after it had already been chanted. And if anything, like I said that shout out to Taz, man. That originally started as an ECW chant,
Taz,
and and I think if anybody, like ROH very much filled that void in the Northeast area when ECW collapsed, and meant much of that fan base that was sitting in the front row at ECW shows, especially in early ROH, were sitting right there at those early ROH shows, and they brought a lot of that culture with them. So that was definitely one of the chants that migrated from the ECW era into the TNA, into the ROH and the TNA era.
The anthem, the BDC anthem, when we had the BDC, I said, Pavlov's dog got us waiting at the bell. Joe is going to kill you. That's what they yell. And, like, one of the things that early on, like, I was a Samoa Joe fan before I met Samoa Joe. And the match that did it for me, that really opened my eyes and made me go like, yo, was the match with you and Key. When you guys started taking the wrist tape off and MMA wasn't even popular yet. Like MMA was still like growing, but that was the first time I had ever seen in a wrestling match when you were just pummeling Key and the ref came in with the wave off stoppage. It was like, no one had done that in wrestling yet. And I remember seeing that and going like, I want to do that. And no one had done that to Low Key. So Joe comes in, and so, from my perspective, two things happened. One, Low Key was a dude who defended his boundaries vigorously, to quote Kenny King. And if Key agreed to do that, then there was a measure of respect, because he ain't gonna do that just for anybody, And to have that kind of finish where it was in pro wrestling, it was a referee wave off, like, no, the TKO, like, stop the carnage.
You're killing them.
I had never seen that before. And just that moment when they were like, oh, so we hitting now. Okay, let's take this, let's peel it. And I was like, yo. So what Samoa Joe did in Ring of Honor at that time, what Key was doing, where these guys were bringing in these Japanese elements to American wrestling, they were the pioneers of that shit. And I would fuck with Joe and Key all the time. I said, you guys fucked up the indies, man, because everyone's trying to do what you guys do. They just don't know how. They're not very good at it.
No, we did, and we take full responsibility. And credit to Key. I mean, I think he was one of those rare talents that kind of saw the same things that I did, that I wanted to see in pro wrestling. And there's a certain aesthetic to violence that's just kind of raw and unfiltered and not very clean and not very choreographed and beautiful, that people just have a visceral reaction to. Listen, I don't like to overstate the environment I grew up in or the people that I was around.
Oh, you gonna hit me with my favorite quote of all time. On the VIP Lounge podcast back in the day with Greeny, when Joe was a guest, or I don't know if you were a guest or if I repeated what you said.
I think we were just talking. Yeah,
this is my favorite, one of my all-time favorite fucking quotes. Please.
Listen, I've never been in a street fight in my life, but I may have been involved in a few assaults.
I ain't never been in a street fight, but I've been in some assaults.
But getting back to that, it was a rare opportunity to get in there and get with a dude who, kind of understands that mentality and like, it was a different niche. I think, the lucha libre style and the high flying beauty of that was very, very prevalent throughout the independent scene and throughout the world. And I just wanted to bring something back from just that grimy, gritty, nasty, brawling style that and kind of, update it, modernize it a little bit, bring some more visceral martial arts elements that you see in modern combat sports these days, and, mix that into the mix and, try to create something different, something special for the fans to see.
And it was.
Thank you, man.
Because I was an active wrestler at the time. And I saw that and I went, I want to do that. Tackle, drop down, kick him in the face. And oh, yeah, that's what I want to do. So that dude, and it really can't be overstated, the influence that Samoa Joe has had. It's like I said, I was a fan of Samoa Joe before I met Samoa Joe. And he was a guy that I always wanted to work with. And I will always regret that we never had a chance to really cross
Have a program.
Yeah, And I remember when we were on the Indies, when it was FIP, and Gabe Sapolsky was booking.
Yep.
And I was begging him, like, please let me work with Joe, please. There's no other big guys that can work that style that, And he was like, just be patient, and he was building me up. And then one day I said to him, like, man, are you going to pull the trigger on me and Joe or not? And he goes, I can't, because you're going to get signed soon, and I can't with that stuff. I was like, I'm right now, I'm not signed, I'm broke, and I want to blow up. And he's like, and dude, like 6 weeks later, I think it was the next show, I went, hey, Gabe,
you're right, I got signed.
But we never got a chance to work.
Nope,
man.
never did. Not even in TNA.
When we were there together, I think we had one tag match.
Was about
we just
it.
had a brief, but we never had a chance to work, which I'm grateful for because my jaw's okay. My teeth are smashed.
I mean, y'all are both in AEW now.
No, I don't wrestle anymore. I let Bobby and Shelby.
That hurts
shit.
to get trios thing. I don't know.
I mean, if you make me, I'll lace them up. But hold on. One time for those of us who are devoted to this shit. What do you think? Devil's River agave bourbon.
Smooth,
right?
Yeah, it's sippable. I mean, like I like
Sippable,
it.
yeah.
It's got like a nice sweetness to it on the back
It's
end.
got that little sweetness on the back end. That's the agave. Like, I'm like,
Not too bad.
not at all, right? However, I will say this. At this stage of the game, let me be honest. Devil's River. This is what we're drinking. But Devil's River, we love you, we appreciate you. But this space is available for sale. If you want to pay us to put your bottle right there for us to drink it.
Well, almost any company. We talked about this earlier. Now, listen, there's a few liquor labels out there.
We
Maybe
ain't drinking no Ciroc vodka on this thing. We just ain't doing it.
I'm just saying he out now, so you better.
All right, guys. So if you are watching the program, please like, subscribe, comment, share.
No, hold up. Hey, for real. Like, do all that shit right now.
Like, literally, right
Like,
now.
You playing around like, I'll get to it later. You're not going to do it later.
No.
You're lazy. That's why you're on YouTube right now. Not doing anything with your life. Because you're a lazy ass. So just click the button, man. Quit being a dick about it.
Joe might show up knocking on your door like, yo, did you like him?
We got IP addresses and stuff. We ain't playing.
We got technology.
Got AI on this, man. Just click the button.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Didn't mean to cut
Oh,
you off.
no, don't
Let them know. Let them know. You
All
know.
good. Yeah, take that.
And we got Patreon too.
Yeah.
We got Patreon too.
Yeah.
Tell them about the Patreon, Dwayne.
All the Joe, you want to tell them?
Man, hey, you heard about the Patreon, man? What are we playing around for? What you gonna spend that money on? Nothing good?
Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you can't have, we can't go out with coffee with us more?
Say what?
Hey,
Say what?
go to the Patreon, man. Quit playing with me.
Sign up, man.
You know,
All the information's in the description.
you know the deal.
Joe's gonna kill.
Man, don't even worry. Just go to Patreon, look it up. Do some work. You got Google, lazy ass. That's why you're on YouTube right now, because you're lazy.
Lazy.
Ridiculous.
No life having that.
And if you at home, you got a job, you talk about, I ain't lazy. You know what? You should be doing something better with it.
Thank you, Joe.
Now keep watching the show. We appreciate you lazy asses. All right.
We really do.
All right, so Joe, you've consistently been praised for your authenticity in your promos. Who in AEW, Ring of Honor, or WWE today reminds you of yourself in terms of that
Ooh,
believability?
like a young person, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot, man. I think, I mean, intensity-wise, matched up with me. You know, I got to be honest. I've been watching a little bit, studying my little nemesis coming here, Gabe Kidd. I think he's a tremendous young man who's got a kind of the right edge to him. You know, I think it will work out for him.
He's got good intensity.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of it's a underappreciated commodity in this world, that real visceral, mean intensity, which, you know, I can always appreciate. I think
And you can't teach intensity.
you can't. I mean, it's something that's kind of just innate to people. I think people like you know, Switchblade Jay White. That's another guy I think has got kind of like this very neat persona. I know he's, you know, kind of can hit that promo vibe pretty well and stuff, and could deliver. I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot of young talent out there, and I think.
What do you think of Eddie Kingston's promos?
I like Eddie. I think when you talk about authenticity, I think you're getting a very real opinion from Eddie. If you know Eddie, if you know Eddie, it's not too far off from where he genuinely feels.
But that intensity.
Well, and a lot of it too is because he feels passionate about these things. You know, I mean, he's speaking about things that he does feel some type of way about. So I think you know, it's very rare that you have people who are able to tap into that real emotion that they feel inside, and be able to kind of you know, craft it and get it out there and communicate to people how that feeling is, and have them feel the same way. And that's really the hallmark of that. And I think that is exemplified in those people.
Right on. So another thing I've been trying to get with P, because, you know, a lot of his friends, you guys all have IMDb credits.
Yeah.
So, so your role in Twisted Metal, how did that come about? And like for your promos and that authenticity, was that easily able to translate to?
So I touched on this a few times, and like I think the biggest thing is, well, first of all, getting the gig was kind of literally just a confluence of just really great circumstances. A good friend of mine who I'd known in LA for years, Carter Swan, and I'd known him back when he was kind of just getting started out in Hollywood and doing this thing, and now he's you know, lead producer at Sony, and you know, kicking ass and doing all these shows. And he kind of called me up out of the blue. I just got fired from WWE, and a couple hours later I get this call, and it's probably been 8 years since we spoke. He's like, "Hey man, what's up? It's Carter." I'm like, "Carter, great to hear from you. What's going on?" He's like, "You doing anything right now?" I said, "Funny,
Matter of fact,
funny you mentioned it. Not a damn thing." To which, you know, he came back at me. He goes, "Well, you know, I'm doing a show with, I work for Sony Pictures now, and we're doing this show. It's based on the video game Twisted Metal from PlayStation. You remember it?" Absolutely, I remember, man. I love it. It came with the system. How could I not remember it? You know, it came in the package, you know? And so he was like, cool. He's all excited about it. He goes, "Well, do you know who the clown is?" "Sweet Tooth." "Absolutely." And did a quick little taped audition, sent it back to him. A couple hours later, they got back to me and they said, "You got the part." And I think I was off to New Orleans a couple weeks later, and we started filming.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind of stuff.
As a guy who knows what it's like to get fired and have to fucking grind, in that moment when you got booked and you were given that job, I mean, I know you've been making money for a while. You're a smart guy. You've been taking care of your bread and whatnot, but you're a father, you're a husband, you're a provider. In that moment, because a lot of wrestlers, when they get released, there's that initial feeling of dread, you know. Now, I know you didn't necessarily have a feeling of dread, but when you got that gig, like, how did that feel in terms of just, like, I'm out of a gig, I got a gig, and, like, was there some sort of, I don't know.
No, it was wild, man, because, you know, like, you get released, and, like, I had a greater understanding of the circumstances behind it and all this stuff, which is, you know, that's for another whole other conversation.
Sure.
But so it wasn't like you know, super crazy to me. It was just like, you know, it was like, "Oh, you all really made that move. Okay, cool." But then, you know, kind of transitioning from having only a couple hours to having this conversation, and, you know, all of a sudden you're on this television show. It was wild. It's like, you know, you walk into the room and, you know, you tell her, "Hey, listen, I just got released." And, you know, wife's like, "Oh, damn, that's crazy." "Well, you know, don't worry, we'll figure it out. We'll get everything." Yeah, I'm not worried. We'll get it all figured out. And then walking back into the room 2 hours later and go, "Hey, babe, so I guess I'm starring in a television show now." Like, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, I don't have any point of reference for that. It's just, it was a great day. You know, like it was a bad day. It was a bad day gone right. So yeah, I mean, it was a cool thing, and I just remember just kind of sitting back and looking up at the cosmos and saying, "Hey, appreciate you," and going from there.
Were you already doing voice acting before the show?
Yeah. So I'd done a lot of video game work previous to this. So I had worked on a game called Dota, Defense of the Ancients, which was old, kind of the first competitive esport, multi-lane, you know, what most people play today. I did some voiceover work for that. I'd done voiceover works for obviously all the wrestling video games. And from that, I kind of got word of mouth like, hey, this guy's pretty good. Maybe we should use him. And my first gig outside of wrestling was the Game of Thrones video game. Came in there, did that with Telltale, which is a great narrative company, and games are fun. And that was cool. Get to play a gladiator in the pits of Marine and in Westeros. And then, you know, coming back, got to do Suicide Squad for DC. And then off of that, Sega contacted me and they made me the main villain in the latest Yakuza Like a Pirate game. So it's been a wild ride with the VO stuff too, but tremendously fun. I love video games. I've been a lifelong gamer.
This dude is a gamer.
Been about it.
He's a gamer.
And so, you know, kind of having some.
His man cave. He's got the whole setup with like the three, like the screens that go across.
It's a command center.
It's a command center. It's a command center.
We ready for war.
with all kinds of swords and clubs and spears and like weapons. Don't run up in there.
Yeah, stuff will crack off in there real quick.
Don't run up in there.
But I just you know, I love video games, and so to be able to, you know, take something I really love and contribute to it and, you know, find myself in games now, it's awesome, man. I can't say enough about it.
Is there a specific like wrestling skill that helped you step into the voiceover booth?
Yeah, I mean, promos. You know, like here's the thing is, and I say this, you know, in Hollywood, the game is stamina. You know, it's like you got to do the same take, the same performance 22 times in a row, different takes, coverage for everybody. So it's very, very like it's a long, arduous process. Whereas in pro wrestling, we're live, we have to be there, we have to hit it in one take, and it's got to be perfect. Otherwise, you won't hear about it be a meme the next day. It's going to be really bad. I mean, instant meme, you know, instant meme. That's what you mess up a promo, instant meme. Yeah. So that skill in and of itself is like when we get to the recording booth, like, you know, they just, you know, for what might take maybe some other artists, you know, a few or 3 or 4 takes just kind of get it right. You know, what they find with a lot of pro wrestlers is 1, 2, all right, we got it. Oh, they on it. Yeah.
And then how about like commentary? Does that translate to that as well for you?
I think commentary is a lot about, first of all, you know, all the great commentators have an innate understanding of the talent that's in the ring. And I think that's the biggest quality to a commentator is that, you know, they know more about that athlete than sometimes even that athlete knows about themselves. And, you know, to be able to tell that story of that superstar in the ring, to be able to add importance and depth and texture to the character of that wrestler in the ring, that's the job of the commentator, you know, is to take somebody interesting and make them that much more interesting.
Yeah.
And
or to make somebody who's not interesting a little more interesting.
And that's what the masters do. So for me, like it was this awesome opportunity because, you know, anytime I get to do commentary, basically you're tasking me with going out there and making sure my friends are as over as possible. And that's just a good position to be in. You know, it's just a fun place to be.
Was there like a behind the scenes moment that gave you like, I don't know, not confidence, but that just kind of gave you some extra, I don't know, joy that what you were doing on the mic really helped out?
No, I knew I was the shit. Like, yeah, I need no extra confidence. Like,
right up.
Like I know I'm dope, bro. I don't need no.
If you put on that headset and sit down over there, you better know your fucking
yeah.
And how do you prepare for that?
I'd love to say that there is a preparedness course, bro. It's a lot of listening and understanding, getting outside of your own ego. You know, in pro wrestling, we learn how to promote ourselves to the maximum, and you become very self-focused in that, which you should be. But, you know, in commentary, it's about kind of stepping outside of yourself, about understanding the motivations and what makes other people great, and then trying to exemplify those things in what you say. And generally just, you know, you got to be interesting. You know, you got to bring a narrative that's going on in that ring and make it more accessible to the fan at home. so that they're able to follow along with you. And you know, it's those type of qualities that like you really got to balance, and the good commentators are able to balance it very, very easily. And like they say, they make everything better. They're enhancers. They're the salt on the steak. You know what I mean? They're the seasoning, and I think that's the best commentators.
I know he was going to put it.
The best commentators in the world. They are that.
You each made significant comebacks after WWE releases. What crucial lesson about resilience or reinvention?
Hold on. I never got released by WWE. I asked for my release.
My apologies.
Yeah, straighten that shit.
So
I got fired from a lot of places.
Right.
I never got fired from WWE.
Okay. You each made significant comebacks after you left WWE.
Okay, I like that language better.
What crucial?
I got fired. I don't know what you're talking about.
I got fired from a lot of places. I didn't get fired from WWE.
Right out. So
although we can talk about that night in Wembley when you said, "Fuck you, I'm leaving."
I left there. Yeah, I left there.
You left. Yeah. So I haven't yet. Hold your thought 1 second, because I've talked to Dwayne about it. I haven't yet got into the story about how and why I left Impact and the circumstances under which. That's a future episode. But I ended up leaving Impact for a lot of the same reasons that Joe left Impact. One big reason.
That was one.
But I was there when the exchange took place, when you were like, fuck you, I'm gonna go see what's across the street. But we can have that conversation another time.
We can.
So proceed. Yeah, but it's coming. It's coming.
Coming
It's
soon.
coming. We'll talk
Coming
about
soon.
it.
So let me try the remix. You each made significant comebacks after leaving WWE. What crucial lesson about resilience or reinvention did you both take from those experiences?
I remember when Chuck Palumbo, he got let go from WWE. He went to Japan. He had a great run over in Japan. And then he came back. And when he came back and he was, doing the motorcycle gimmick and, he and I worked together a lot. We got to be really cool, man. And one of the things he told me, and I'll never forget it, and I quote, Chuck Palumbo said, "There's life after WWE." For a lot of talent, it's a dream, it's a goal. And you get there and you get that money and you get the taste, and then things don't work out, you get released. For some people, it's absolute heartache. It's crushing, it's depressing, which is totally understandable. But through the years, there have been a lot of talent that got released, went out, hit the indies, hit the international scene, worked their asses off, and came back with, a reinvented character or a reinvigorated character, got re-signed and did great. And then there are plenty that left, never came back, and did wonderful on the international scene or whatever. But just that quote from Chuck Palumbo, there's life after WWE. And the people that have gone on to make a wonderful living. I've been in the pro wrestling business for over 20 years. And I've been very fortunate that WWE, New Japan, Impact, I worked for CMLL, AAA. Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. So there's a thing, if you're resilient, if you're a professional wrestler, if you're about the business, if you're about the hustle, if you're about the grind, I'm not, and it's funny because I had this conversation recently. I'm a professional wrestler. I'm not an ex-WWE wrestler. I'm not an ex-New Japan wrestler. I'm a pro wrestler. And I'm going to take my trade, I'm going to take my craft, I'm going to take my skills to where I can do my best and simultaneously get the best compensation that I can get. And that's been the name of the game since territory days. It's always take your skills to where you can get the best out of what you can do and the best compensation package. And I've been fortunate that for over 20 years, I've been able to make a living in this space regardless of what the 3 letters, the alphabet soup on top, just because I bring a certain je ne sais quoi to the game. And if you have talent, and if you genuinely have an ability to draw viewers, fans, then you're always going to be employed. And I remember when Joe said, I'm leaving here. I'm betting on myself. And you take it from there, dude. Hold on. Tag.
All right. Yeah. I mean, for me, it wasn't a big issue. You know, like I had already built a financial infrastructure way outside of WWE that was awesome. I had already...
Something on here I always talk about is business.
Yeah. So
I try to tell these young people about business, financial,
well, it's hard to be emotional about things when, you understand, like I said, the economics of it and the business of it and where the money can be made. And like, I knew leaving any company in this industry that I had options. I could take care of myself. I was self-sufficient in this industry. I had enough talent. I believed in myself and ability and, wherewithal to deal with people that I knew making money wasn't my issue. Just finding the right place to do it in is always the issue. And, that really what it is. I think a lot of emotional devastation that maybe a superstar will feel being released, I can understand it. But it's completely pointless and useless.
Hold on. You just said something and I want to words are everything. The devastation that a superstar would feel, but a pro wrestler.
It's different. It's different. And it is, because, many people, they've worked all their entire lives for this one single goal. Right. My goal was to be involved in this business. When I first got started, Jim Ross told me in my face, you will never work in WWE. And that wasn't malicious. It wasn't a malicious thing. It was just saying, hey, listen, this is what we're looking for. You are not it. And it was one of the most liberating statements that was ever spoken to me, because then it uncoupled me from sitting there and going, I got to be at every WWE house show loop that comes through the West Coast, and I got to be there, and I got to shake the hands, and I got to do. And instead, I said, listen, obviously, this is the head. They told me I ain't gonna make it here, so now all my focus shifts to everywhere else I can make money. And I concentrated my efforts and everything on those spaces. And those spaces grew because of the effort that I put into them. And those spaces got better and they got more lucrative when we made more money. And because of that, well, now when I go to WWE and now when I finally started dealing with WWE, I did not do it from a position of weakness. I did it from a position of stability and from power and mutual respect. And because of that, even though my time in WWE may have been cut short, it was a wonderful relationship because they respected me. They respected me financially. They respected me as a performer because I had become a proven commodity that had actual numbers behind them, that they were not inflated or created by somebody else or by a greater entity.
You were/are a businessman.
Well, and that's really the crux of this always is that, you really got to understand the business aspect of this if you want to be successful in it at all. Because until you understand the business aspect, there's always going to be a businessman ready to understand it for you.
Bars. Joe got the coldest bars, man.
Bars.
So I mean, you gotta ask yourself, whose future, who do you want to have control over your future, you or that person who's going to interpret your future for you? So, like I said, a calculator is probably one of the greatest tools any entertainer, let alone professional wrestler, could ever possess.
See, that's crazy that you say that, because one of the things that I talk about here all the time, and I always tell Dwayne, is the business of professional wrestling. And I'm not knocking the young talent that want to go out there and paint their picture and have their art and whatnot. We all went through that, but there comes a point when you realize that this is a business. And if you want to make money in this space, there are certain things that you have to understand about the dynamic of the business of pro wrestling. And Joe has been a businessman. And when you're in this space and the people who operate the business understand that you understand your value, your worth, your numbers, and you come to that table with that confidence of knowing, like, no, this is what I bring. The way the dynamic was for so long with WWE being the only space, you came from a position of weakness because there was nowhere else to go. There was no, so you kind of had, you could come in and say, hey, this is what I bring. And then they could say, well, yeah, that's all fine, but here's what we offer you, you know. And then AEW came into play, and now there's a different space. And well, actually before that, there was Impact. So certain people were able to go to Impact like Joe did and make a very comfortable living, you know. But when later on, when Joe said, okay, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go here, he had built up that fan base and he understood the business and he had the confidence that comes with knowing what he brings to the table and his skill set. And they understood that he knew what he brought to, you know. So if you're a young talent just starting out, you don't have a lot of leverage. And don't be overconfident in that space thinking, yeah, well, 50 people at the VFW hall popped for me when I came out. I'm over, brother. No, you're not. No, you're not. But when you get to a point where you're moving merch and you are showing up and you're selling tickets and you get to a point where, as Joe learned from his own journey, like, I make a difference. I know what I'm worth. I'm not going to settle for what you throw on the table because I will go elsewhere and I'll make a living. Then there's a respect, as he said, that comes into play where they go, oh, well, he's not just some young punk ass that we can just run through. Like, oh, no, this guy actually knows his worth, so we got to talk business with him.
And I use that term for a reason because, like, I think people think, like, you know, I come in with the rep, I got some numbers behind me, I am this, what it is. You know, you don't come in with demands. You come in hoping to establish an accord. Because, you know, that people want to do business. You know, they want to do business. They don't want to deal with business. They don't want you to become a bill. They want you to become part of the thing that makes this place greater, makes this place profitable. So, you know, I think that's an important part, you know, is saying that relationship needs to be strong and it needs to be fostered in that way. Because until you have that mutual respect, you're never going to find that mutual, like, satisfaction, happiness with what you're doing with one another. And until you do, you know, it's going to be a bad relationship.
Nobody likes bad relationships.
Nobody likes bad relationships.
No. Fuck a bad relationship.
All of them.
We've done it again.
Well, yes, we have, man.
Samoa Joe, thank you for allowing me to mark out with you today.
No worries. Cheers, gentlemen. Appreciate you both.
Oh, no, brother.
All right.
Oh, let me get some of that. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. So let me put this in perspective. We are in Arlington, and like I said, right behind that screen is Globe Life Stadium. And if it weren't for the lights and everything, it's a beautiful scene behind us. But just with the reflection of the window and the lights, I wanted to. We tried. It didn't work out. But that's okay because instead I gave you Samoa Joe.
Hey, one or the other, man. That's all we do here.
You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah, there's a little Rolling Stones for you. But so this is Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze. This is the very first episode that we've had a guest. In this business of professional wrestling, I have lots of acquaintances. I have lots of associates. I got pals. I've got buddies. I have very few friends. This man is a friend of mine. And I don't throw that word around weekly. Too many people go, he's a friend of mine. Yeah, you just met him 10 minutes to go to the bar. He ain't your friend. But we was just talking earlier tonight. We've been friends for over 20 years.
That's been a damn.
Like, yeah, we met on FIP.
We 2 decades in, man. That's
2002,
yep.
I think it was. It's been a really long time. But thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. It's the Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze. Tell them all about the Patreon and all that shit. Like, comment, all that stuff.
Do us a favor, guys. Go into the description right now. Click on our link to Patreon. We've got the top Patreon in the game, hands down.
I promise you we got that.
And we over-deliver. So you can check. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, leave a comment in the comments.
And let them know the shit we give you because we love you.
And just know, platinum subscribers, Swayze Mankini calendar coming out next year. That's
Monica, we're joking. We're joking, Monica. I promise.
No, he's not joking. I'm back in the gym.
Oh, yeah. Back in the gym.
I'm back in the gym, baby.
Oh, this is a CrossFit King right here.
Yeah.
With Ciroc bottles. No,
No, man. No.
I'm back.
Come on, Jizz. Yo, I'm having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. We're drinking this bourbon, and how many countries have we been drunk in together? I don't even know.
More than we could ever remember.
To quote the legendary Young Jeezy, I remember nice. I can't remember nice. I damn near went crazy. I had to get it right. Thank you for joining us. This was pretty fucking cool. This is All-In Weekend. We're in Dallas. Oh, no, excuse me. We're in Arlington. Let's get that shit straight. Right by Globe Life. And this is pretty cool because Joe is our very first guest. But this weekend, we're going to work in a few other guests. And we're not going to put them all back to back because this show isn't about the guests. It's about MVP and Dwayne Swayze. But because we love you so much and because they help boost our views, we get cool ass people like this, my friends that Dwayne can mark out for, and you can mark out too. So again, if you like if you like my show, like, comment, subscribe, share, subscribe to the Patreon. We give you really cool shit. And if you don't, Joe might show up at your house and beat your ass.
Yeah, because I got time.
Hey, wait, hold on. Because remember back in the day, because he was on a session back in the day, back when we used to do sessions.
Okay.
And you know how we close out. However, Joe had a great idea some time ago when I said I wanted to open up a bar. What was the name of my bar, Joe?
Wait.
No, hold on.
There's a few of them. We talked about.
No. Bebop.
Oh yeah, the Bebop.
No, Spike.
Oh, Spikes.
Spike
Spiegels.
Spike, yeah. Joe had the idea that
Spike
I would
Spiegels.
open up a bar called Spike Spiegels. And if you know, you know. Having said that, as we usually used to end the sessions, and now we're just going to end the VIP. Did I say the VIP? I almost said that.
Don't let that out. Don't let it.
Shh. Mark, the bourbon works. And whatever we were drinking downstairs before we got here. See you, Space Cowboy.
See y'all next Monday.
I just lay back in something new. Whiskey 21 and over, low ball. Make it too neat. Dizzer from Harlem. Yeah, I'm from Houston, off of Fondren. Mike Mazan and real world flow. Plant these seeds in the streets and in weeks. Watch it blossom. Dark night, riding on chrome, swinging through Gotham. It's me and P, repaving these roads.